So, there's a story here that dropped in the Daily Beast. White supremacists had lists of feds to kill and dox unsealed file. This is something that came out. I believe this actually came out today, right? So, just, I know what GAB is. I remember when GAB first started. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell is GAB? Let me just tell you, right? So, GAB used to be a Twitter clone. Because you know how Twitter censors right-wingers? Yeah, right-wingers are so upset that they can't just say, I want to kill X people on the internet and get away with it. They're so triggered, they made their own website. Okay? They made their own website. And that website was GAB. I actually had a GAB account. I don't know if it still works because they did this re-update thing. The website was garbage. It never worked. It was terrible. Yes, Skeletino in the chat. This is the GAB logo right here. The website was awful, and then like a couple years into the website, they destroyed the whole website and made a Mastodon instance. Now, Mastodon is actually like a leftist Twitter, where you can make your own, like, it's kind of like Discord in a way. You can make your own server. They're called instances, and then people can join those instances, and it's like it's a Twitterverse in that instance. So what they did was they scrapped their own website and made a Mastodon instance, which I thought was hilarious. And then every other Mastodon instance, right, because there's like the group federalized instances, so everything you post can be on like the full thing, where every instance you have like one timeline. So every instance of Mastodon collectively and unanimously voted to ban GAB from showing up in the federated timeline, which I thought was fucking hilarious, man. I thought that was extremely fucking funny. So there's a little bit of context for you. GAB is just where the white supremacists went to go post their white supremacist garbled shit when Twitter started banning them a little bit more. So there's your context. Now let's read the story. When members of a white supremacist street fighting gang caught charges for their participation in a deadly riot, fellow travelers on the website GAB had a suggestion. Dox the U.S. officials involved in the case. Or maybe just kill them. A newly unsealed search application from October 2018 reveals that feds were interested in threats made to federal law enforcement on the extremist-friendly social network. Now, one thing I want to say is I used to post on GAB and say things like, I support Bernie Sanders for president, or it's like, I am transgender, ask me anything. I remember I posted, I'm transgender, ask me anything. And I'm not even going to joke. I'm not even joking to you. Like, this isn't hyperbole. I literally got like 5,000 replies. And sometimes, when someone says 5,000, they really mean like 3,653. No, I literally mean like it was at least 5,000. It could have been more, but I stopped checking. The last time I saw it, it was like around 5,000. I got so many replies of people, and I didn't read them all. Of course, I can't read them all. But every once in a while, I'd look at the replies, and it'd be like, you should fucking kill yourself. You should die. I'm going to come and kill you. And now keep in mind, my dox is out there, right? You could just Google it, and obviously I don't live there anymore, right? But at the time, right, you could just Google it and find my house, right? So it's like, I got so many messages of people wishing death on me because I said, I am transgender, ask me anything on GAB. So keep this in mind. This is the kind of website this is, okay? The threats concerned a Department of Justice official, U.S. attorney, a prosecutor, and others involved in a federal case against members of the white supremacist Rise Above movement months earlier. One of the GAB users involved had also helped dox a blogger, attracting attention from another user who would later be accused of massacring worshippers in a Pittsburgh synagogue, right? The connections here are absurd. Right? The warrant sought information, including private messages and IP information on Chad Bagwell, an Alabama man who posted on GAB and attended at least one white supremacist rally under his own name. The investigation appears to have begun when Bagwell suggested other prominent GAB users Another prominent GAB user docs, that is, reveal private information on federal officials, particularly in the Justice Department. The search warrants unsealing this week came at an appropriate time. Earlier this month, at least 15 people were arrested in three different alleged far-right plots to kidnap state or local officials. Two of those plots, which targeted Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, were organized online on websites where people probably met each other on GAB, and then they just went to like private, like secure, like fucking chat rooms or whatever. Or in a lot of these cases, they don't. They just use like Discord or something, right? Because they're fucking dumb. They have no notions of operational security whatsoever. You wouldn't think of using your considerable doxing talents on the federal government next, would you? Bagwell wrote to GAB user Hunter Wallace. I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter. An account long linked to Brad Griffin, a prominent member of the neo-Confederate group League of the South, in October 2018. We start with Rosenstein, work our way down to the arresting agents themselves, get ourselves a big ol' list of any system pig who's ever harmed our people in any way. Could be a useful thing to have in the event of, future contingencies. Very interesting quote there. Rosenstein was presumably a reference to then Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but the suggestion came amid a discussion by other members of the far-right community about a U.S. attorney and other court-involved officials. Officials involved, I'm so sorry, I've got dyslexia, in the case against Rise Above, a white supremacist group that glorifies street-level violence. The group emerged on federal radars after they were seen beating up opponents at the 2017's deadly Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, where a neo-Nazi murdered an anti-racist protester. Now, you can read the rest of this article yourself, but I got a few little more highlighted bits. Michael Hayden, a senior investigative reporter at the Southern Poverty Law Center, said doxing was something of a communal activity on GAB, particularly in 2017 and 18. Especially around that time on GAB, you would get the dox, and then there would be like a celebratory sharing of threats. Hayden told the Daily Beast they would talk about publicly what they wanted to do to someone. It was very performative as well, he said, because some of the users appeared to be trying to incite reactions from anti-fascists who monitored the site. Doxing and murder plots are technically against GAB's rules. However, the site has sometimes turned a blind eye to users' bad behavior, allowing them to stay on the site after posting private information. Bagwell's account, for instance, is still live on GAB and uses his legal name, despite GAB receiving a warrant for his alleged activity. GAB took a reputational hit after the Tree of Life massacre, which Bowers appeared to advertise on the website. But although some of its most prominent users moved elsewhere or in multiple high-profile cases went to prison, GAB did little to change the site's culture, which had previously seen people like Bagwell build followings based on their incendiary remarks. Hayden said the lack of moderation plus the comfort people like Bagwell felt in using their legal names had real consequences. GAB, from 2017, the lead up to Charlottesville, up until the Tree of Life massacre, was the worst and most dangerous website I've ever seen, he said. It had this combination of the say anything mentality, and it gave people a capacity to promote their brand and become public figures. Again, I used to post on GAB ironically, and I would get thousands of death threats. And my dox was public at that time. So theoretically, I could post like, I like dogs, and then someone could look up my fucking docs and come and shoot and kill me as a result. I'm not even joking. I remember posting on GAB like, what breed of dog is your favorite? Because I thought that was like a funny, like, eugenicist adjacent thing. I thought I could get some funny responses. And I just got like literally hundreds of people telling me that I should kill myself because like they just looked at my profile and saw that like my bio was like, hi, I'm a transgender anti-racist activist, and I'm here on GAB to ask a few questions, right? And like they just got so mad and they threatened to kill me over and over and over again, and it's weird. These people are weird. It's strange. It's bizarre. Certainly very bizarre. And you need to be very, very, very aware that these are things that people are doing, and these are the people that are out there. These are the Trump supporters. These are the guys who, I don't agree with Trump, but he's the lesser of two evils. He'll protect our guys. Like that's the kind of mentality that these people have, and it's important to realize. But that's just me. That is just me, and that is my story on GAB.